Sure, 2020 wasn't the best year in the WWE, we lost an audience, so now you can hear Michael Cole's silent farts, and Vince McMahon from Gorilla screaming, "That's bullshit," ready to disappoint Kevin Owens after the match. I could go on and on about how 2020 wasn't that great, so I will. First of all, we lost an audience. That was a big hit. Instead of feeling the energy from the crowd during matches like Nia Jax vs anyone, it seemed like we were watching a lot of people train. Funny enough, it actually happened in Performance Center. That sucked. Thankfully though, we got Thunderdome. It basically uses crowd noise from WWE 2K. Yeah, it's kinda stupid, it's fake, but at least that's better. Probably shouldn't put people that are sleeping on it though. Goldberg did Goldberg things. My man came back again, took the Universal Championship from The Fiend, for whatever reason, and this kinda ruined The Fiend, because this man went from an unstoppable, unbeatable monster to a big weirdo who loses quite a lot. Well, at least he's getting laid now. Edge got injured again. My man had an entertaining run in the WWE, but unfortunately, he had to leave again. Ricochet got buried faster than Michael Cole screams it's boss time when Sasha's music hits. And my man's fast, believe me. Retribution failed miserably. From 10-year-olds on sugar, to sex dolls, to buried. Like seriously, these guys never won a single match. Aleister Black went from a mysterious character to this, I'm sorta drunk pirate guy. I slept during the entire Braun Strowman title reign. My man's boring as hell. But you know what? 2020 also gave us some of the best and most important moments in WWE history. Some that I would possibly consider my favorite of all time. And the one that I'm talking about is Edge's return to the WWE. There's nothing like a return in the WWE. We all love these. You know what's even better? A return at Royal Rumble. You know what's even better? A return by Edge, who we 100% knew is never coming back to the WWE, making that entrance, crying, getting us all emotional. This was possibly my favorite WWE moment of all time. I never marked out like this. His performance was amazing, my man looks great, and on top of that he had a very memorable run against Randy Orton. We got the greatest match ever, am I right? Yeah, now WWE decides that, not us. Unfortunately, Edge got injured, but now we gotta wait and see when Edge is gonna make his return and challenge Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. But honestly, this hit right in the feels. Another great thing that we got in 2020 is Randy Orton's heel run. Just phenomenal work by Randy Orton, some of the best of his career. I mean, the same rivalry against Edge was phenomenal. His legend killer run against Drew McIntyre was great. You know, he injured a bunch of legends like Christian, Edge, Big Show, Flair, Michaels. And now once he won the WWE Championship, he's a 14-time WWE Champion. He's no longer a legend killer, he's now just simply a legend. His words, not mine. You know what I also liked in 2020? Sami Zayn. My man came back to the WWE and claims he never lost the Intercontinental Championship. First of all, I blame this guy for replacing the championship. Come on, Sami. You're better than this. But let's be fair, this guy's entertaining as hell right now. This championship title reign has a lot of potential because of Sami Zayn's new character kinda-ish. But we are yet to see that because it seems like WWE don't really care about mid-card championships. You know what's also great? John Morrison. A very attractive man. Like honestly, if someone says attractive man from LA, you imagine John Morrison, Dolph Ziggler, and possibly Lars Sullivan. I'm a freak, Michael. Give me bath, Michael. Sure, John Morrison's run has been very disappointing. This guy barely wins matches. I think I could beat John Morrison at this point. Majority of John Morrison's run was basically losing to Otis. Yes, Otis. He eats a lot. That's very entertaining. Still gets more chicks than you. But every time John Morrison is in a match, it's very entertaining. This man has a very unique style. So I'm happy to see this guy back in the WWE. What was also interesting in 2020 is Dominic Mysterio. Let's ignore all the eyes stuff, you know, eyes popping out and being replaced. But it was fun seeing Eddie Guerrero's son finally being in the WWE as a grown-ass dude. Why is he so tall? And he always had impressive performances. And currently, I'm honestly very intrigued by this Murphy, Aaliyah, and Dominic and Papi storyline. I'm very interested. Not having a crowd sucked, but WWE used that opportunity to make something different. And what I'm talking about is the cinematic matches. Some of them sucked, obviously, but we also had some memorable ones, like for example The Fiend versus John Cena was just something else. I don't know how to put it into words. It felt like a weird Vince McMahon wet dream. Can you imagine that for a second? I really liked The Undertaker versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. That was something else. Everything else was just kinda average, but still creative and something different, so I really appreciate that. What was also great about 2020 in the WWE is Bayley and Sasha. They carried the women's division for a very long time, and then we finally got that rivalry. Not only did Sasha Banks won the championship in a long-term storyline, she also finally retained the championship, so the curse is gone. She can be a women's champione now. Drew McIntyre winning the championship was a bittersweet. Obviously, we wanted a crowd, didn't get that. Anyway, seeing Drew McIntyre as a champion was absolutely unbelievable, wild. I used to shake the ding dong in 3MB, look at me now. What I appreciate about Drew McIntyre's title reign the most is that fans didn't really turn on the guy. That rarely happens anymore, you know, a babyface that is being liked. Now, obviously, we didn't have an audience, but from what I saw on social media, people were mostly positive about the guy, which is great. He's like this big 8-foot tall teddy bear. He's just so likable. Love this guy. Another great thing that happened sorta by an accident is the Hurt Business, because once MVP returned during the Royal Rumble, he was only supposed to have one match against Rey Mysterio on Raw. But then he kinda became a manager to Bobby Lashley and it turned into this Hurt Business faction. It didn't really seem like it was a plan all along, so it kind of makes it even more special and interesting. It's kind of fascinating how great this faction actually is. They remind me of Evolution a lot, so that should tell you how much I like these people. And MVP really is one of the most valuable players in the WWE now. He made Shelton Benjamin a thing. He's something in the WWE again. Bobby Lashley's finally entertaining. Cedric Alexander is getting a push. They have this big feel, and without the Hurt Business, imagine how much more Monday Night Raw would suck. And finally, one of the most important things in wrestling history happened, which is Roman Reigns' heel turn. People wanted to see that for years and years. We never got that. Well, 2020 is hella weird, and Vince McMahon said, screw it. And we finally got Roman Reigns' heel turn. That alone makes 2020 not the worst year in WWE history. Like I've said, it's one of these heel turns that you imagine would be good, but once it happens, it's a lot better than you could ever imagine. My man's with Paul Heyman. My man is a controlling freak. I love this guy. Doesn't matter what happens now, Roman. You will always be my tribal chief. And he got new teeth. So there's that. Anyway, so the point of this video is, sure, wrestling in 2020 sorta sucked. But let's take a moment and appreciate some of the best things that happened, because not everything is this negative. Once you put everything into perspective, it wasn't that bad. Thank you for watching the video, the great one. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.